So good morning to all of you. Today we are going to discuss some GATE previous year question related to this fluid dynamics chapter. Okay. So in previous lecture we already have discussed some GATE previous year related question related to topic pressure measurement devices, fluid kinematics and hydrostatic pressure. And today we are going to discuss some important problem related to this chapter fluid dynamics. This is the first problem in which it is saying the Bernoulli equation used in pipe flow, each term. So if you consider any pipe, we are writing this energy at a point. This is E by rho g plus this is Z, this is V square by 2g. So this each term are representing the energy per unit weight of fluid. So each term is representing energy per unit weight of the fluid. Suppose for example I am considering the kinetic energy. So kinetic energy per unit this unit weight of fluid. So suppose this unit weight of fluid, so kinetic energy I can write down this is half mv square divided by the unit weight of mass m into g. So this mass gone. So this is coming out to be v square by 2g. So this is v square by 2g. So suppose this potential energy I am writing this is mg into z. So now I can per unit weight mass into g. So this is gone, this is gone. So this is the z. So each term we are actually representing the energy per unit weight of the fluid. Okay. So basically here the energy are expressing in the form of head. Next we are going to next problem. Next one is, so this is saying a pipe is there. So this is one pipe. Okay. So this is one pipe. So in which water is flowing, suppose this water is flowing downward, in downward direction water is flowing, and suppose I am choosing 2 points. Suppose this is my 1 point and suppose this is my another point. Suppose this is point 1 and this is point 2. It is asking, we are neglecting the friction and the cross-sectional area of the pipe is constant. So this is a very constant cross-sectional area of the pipe. So it is asking based upon the Bernoulli equation what is the variation of pressure and velocity. Okay. So first of all this option B will not be correct because here already it is mentioned that the cross-sectional area is constant. If you apply the continuity equation, this is A1 B1 will be equal to this is A2 B2. So as here is already mentioned, this area cross-sectional area constant. So now what will happen? This velocity at point 1 will be equal to velocity at point 2. So there is no variation of the velocity. Velocity will not vary. The velocity will remain constant. Okay. Now if you see the pressure variation, now I am applying the Bernoulli equation at point 1 and 2. So I am applying this Bernoulli's. So I am applying Bernoulli's equation. So on Bernoulli equation between point 1 and point 2. If I apply the Bernoulli equation between point 1 and 2, so this is P1 by rho g. And suppose I am taking this one as datum line. So if I am point 2, I am taking this one as my datum line. So this is my I am taking as a datum line. Okay. So now this is the potential head of point 1. So this is the potential head of point 1. This is taken at Z1. So here datum line Z2 will be equal to 0. So I could write down the Bernoulli equation in between point 1. This is Z1 plus this is B1 square by 2g will be equal to P2 by rho g plus Z2 plus V2 square by 2g. Whenever you are solving any problem related to Bernoulli equation, you write down the full equation, then you see each term. Now pressure at point 1, I can write this one as P1 by rho g plus this is Z1 plus see here velocity is are actually same as the velocity are same, so I can cancel this velocity term. I am cancelling this velocity term. So this will be equal to, and z2 is what? Z2 will be equal to 0 because we already have assumed that this point number 2 as a datum line. So I can write down this one as a, this is equal to P2 by rho g. Now from this equation I can say this P2 is greater than P1. So this P2 is greater than P1. But you see, we are actually measuring the height from this datum line. We are measuring the height from this datum line. So as the height is increasing, the pressure at point 1 is what? Decreasing. So many students will say that it will increase. No, if you see, if you measuring the height from this point 2, you are measuring the height from this one. So if the height is increasing, pressure at point 1 is decreasing. So here the correct option will be pressure decreases with respect to height. Pressure decreases with respect to height. This is the actually aptitude in this question. We will going to next question. Thank you. So in this question, it is saying this is the equation is given. This equation is given gz plus b square by 2. So this equation is given gz plus b square by 2 plus this is integration of dp by rho will be equal to constant, and this is valid for along a particular streamline. Okay, and this equation is saying this is nothing but a form of the Euler equation. Okay, this is form of Euler equation. If you integrate the Euler equation, then this is coming out to be Bernoulli equation. Okay, so already you have taken some assumption during the derivation of the Euler equations. That same assumption will be valid in Bernoulli equation also. So what are the assumption? First assumption is steady. The flow must be steady. Second assumption we have taken, this must be frictionless, invisible. This one be frictionless. Okay. And third assumption we have taken, the fluid must be incompressible. The fluid must be incompressible and irrotational. If the fluid will be rotational, then the Bernoulli equation cannot be applied at a particular section. Okay, but rather the Bernoulli equation will be applied at a particular point if the fluid will be rotational. But if it is irrotational flow, then the Bernoulli equation can be applied at a particular section. We can apply the Bernoulli equation section. Okay, and this is the assumption we have taken. But you see, this is actually this density is taking inside this integration, means the density also is varied with respect to the pressure. Density is a function of pressure. So here it is not incompressible. Incompressible means what? Density will be equal to constant. But here density is not constant. So this is a compressible fluid. Other assumption will be valid. This is steady, frictionless, and this one is compressible fluid because density is a function of pressure. As pressure increases, density is changing. That's why it is keeping inside this integration part. Okay. So the correct option will be the steady, friction, and compressible. Okay. So this is the correct. The next we are going to solve this one. So Bernoulli equation, it is asking the Bernoulli equation is the equation of. Okay. So this is very interesting. So there is three equations are there. First one is called continuity equation. First one is called continuity equation. Okay. So this continuity equation generally it is based upon. So this is based upon the conservation of mass. This is based upon the conservation of mass. Okay. Second type of equation is called this Euler equation. Okay, so Euler equation. So this Euler equation we already have derived from Newton's second law. Okay, if you have not seen my video, you can go to the playlist, you can watch that video. So Euler equation we have already derived from Newton's second law. So that is what is Newton's second law? Newton's second law, rate of change of momentum will be equal to the force applied on a body. So this is actually based upon the conservation of momentum. So this Euler equation based upon the conservation of momentum. Okay, this is based upon the conservation of momentum. And last equation is called, this one is Bernoulli equation. So this is Bernoulli's equation, and this Bernoulli equation is actually based upon the conservation of energy. This is based upon the conservation of energy principle, because energy neither be created nor be destroyed. Okay, so this Bernoulli equation is generally depend upon the conservation of energy. Okay, of conservation of energy. Sorry. So now this is now the discharge coefficient of orifice meter. So orifice meter, the discharge coefficient, okay, let me check. So orifice meter, the discharge coefficient, so orifice meter, the discharge coefficient, so this is orifice meter, the discharge coefficient. So orifice meter discharge coefficient generally it is taken in between the 0.60 to 0.65, okay, and the discharge coefficient of the Venturi meter. So discharge coefficient of this Venturi meter, it is generally taken as 0.95 to 0.99. In general, it is taken as 0.98. Okay, and this is in general taken as 0.62. So basically, the discharge coefficient of the CD of an orifice meter, it is generally less than, it is smaller than this the discharge coefficient of the Venturi meter. Okay. Now this is Pitot tube. So already we have seen the Pitot tube. Suppose this is my pipe, in which this is my pipe, in which suppose this is the piezometer we are inserting to measure the static fluid, and this is my this Pitot tube. So this is my Pitot tube. Okay, so the Pitot tube is measured. So now the height, whatever the height is representing here, that is called the static pressure. This is called static. And now suppose this one, now fluid is rises, okay, because the fluid particle coming, when it is striking to this one, what will happen? The kinetic energy now is converted into the pressure energy, and that is pressure energy, the maximum energy. Already I have told you the energy is a combination of the kinetic energy plus pressure energy. If the kinetic energy suddenly decreases, what will happen? To contain the same magnitude of energy, the potential energy suddenly it will increase. Okay, pressure energy suddenly will increase, and the pressure energy is very maximum. The pressure energy maximum. That maximum pressure energy is called stagnation pressure. Okay, so this one is called my stagnation pressure. This one is my stagnation pressure, and this is my what? Dynamic head. This one is my dynamic head. So this I can write down this stagnation pressure head will be equal to, this is static pressure head plus this one is dynamic pressure head. So Pitot tube used to measure total pressure. Okay, this is generally used to measure the total pressure. This is static plus dynamic. So this is total pressure. So this is total pressure we are measuring. So this is the total pressure of the fluid. We are both measuring the static pressure as well as we are measuring the dynamic pressure of the fluid. So next question we are going to see the range of coefficient discharge for Venturi meter. So I already told you the range of coefficient of discharge is generally is taken in between for Venturi meter. I am talking about the Venturi meter. This is generally coming out with 0.95 to 0.99. So in general we are actually average. In problem most of the numerical, if it is not mentioned in IS this subjective question paper, it is not mentioned, you can assume the CD value to be 0.98. Okay, this is the in general we are assuming to find out to solve the numerical. So this is the discharge coefficient of the Venturi meter. Now this is the most appropriate governing equation of ideal fluid flow. So the most appropriate governing equation, because there are, already I have told you, the discuss some forces. So force in x directions, that pressure force plus this one is viscous force, now plus that turbulence force, now the compressibility force. Okay, so already you have plus this one is gravitational force. Now if you remove the turbulence force, that is called Reynolds equation. If you remove this one, that is called Reynolds equation. Okay, and if you remove this compressibility, force due to compressibility, the equation is now it is called Navier-Stokes equation. And if you remove this viscosity force, the equation now is called Euler equation. Now Euler equation is two type of forces, the pressure forces plus the force due to gravity. Okay, the most appropriate governing equation for ideal fluid flow, actually everything we are deriving from this Euler equation only. And in fluid mechanics, Eulerian approach we are following. There is two approach. First one is Eulerian approach, second one is Lagrangian approach. Eulerian approach, we are actually keeping a section fixed, and whatever the fluid particle at that particular section, we are measuring the properties of that fluid particle at that particular section. But as long as this Lagrangian approach is concerned, actually we are tracing each individual fluid particle and we are finding out the properties of the fluid particle. So that one is a very complex process. So in most of the fluid mechanics, we are actually following this Eulerian approach. This Lagrangian approach generally you are based upon the path line. Path line means what? We are tracing the path of a single fluid particle. So each single fluid particle we are following, we are finding all the property. So this is the correct option, Euler equation. The most appropriate governing equation for ideal fluid flow is Euler equation. So now we are going to next question. So now this is also based upon the Pitot tube. The Pitot static tube measures the static pressure, dynamic pressure, difference in static and dynamic, difference in total and dynamic. So generally this Pitot tube, I told you, so this is my Pitot tube. Okay, this is my Pitot tube. So this is actually measuring this. So this one, suppose this one is my water, this is my stagnation pressure head is saying. Okay, this is my stagnation pressure head. And this stagnation pressure head is, we are actually saying the static pressure head plus this one is dynamic pressure head. And the theoretical velocity we are talking about this equal to root over of 2g into h dynamic. So what is this h dynamic head? H dynamic head will be equal to, this is stagnation head minus this one is static head. Okay, so this is actually difference between, I can say this is Pitot static tube measures. This is I think this is the correct option will be, this is actually dynamic. This is dynamic. So difference in static and dynamic, it is not possible because this is difference between static and this is dynamic. No, difference between this total and static pressure. This is also no. Yes, this is maybe this one is correct. Option D. So total pressure means what? This one is called stagnation pressure. From the stagnation pressure, we are subtracting the static pressure, and this one is dynamic pressure. So option D is correct one. So this option D is correct one. So stagnation pressure minus this one static pressure we are finding out, and this one is called as theoretical velocity. Okay, this one theoretical velocity. Now if you want to find out the actual velocity, now if you multiply their coefficient velocity with theoretical velocity. Okay, and this actual velocity is always less than this theoretical velocity. Okay, so now we are going to next question. Okay, so here it is a GATE 2014 set 1 question paper. So this is a venturimeter having diameter. So venturimeter is given here. So this is my venturimeter. Okay, this is my venturimeter I am drawing. So wait for a while. Yes. So this is my pipe, and this one is my converging zone, and this is my throat. Okay, this is my throat. So I am connecting this one with a U-tube manometer. So I am connecting this one with a U-tube manometer. Okay. So now the fluid whatever will be there. So see one concept T. So here velocity is increasing. Velocity increasing means what? At this throat part the pressure will decrease. So here velocity less, the pressure will increase. So at this point the pressure will be more, so the deflection will be this one. The manometric fluid will go to this side. So this is my deflection of the manometric fluid. So this is my deflection. This is HM. Suppose this is my point 1 and suppose this point is point 2 and the fluid is flowing in this venturimeter. Okay, the fluid is flowing in this venturimeter. Now it is saying the venturimeter having diameter 7.5 at throat. At throat it is giving 7.5 centimeter and 15 centimeter at enlargement. At section 1 the diameter is, this one is 15 centimeter and this throat, this diameter is 7.5 centimeter and this is horizontal. This is horizontal pipeline. The pipe carries an incompressible fluid at a steady rate. The discharge is already given to you. So the discharge is 30 liter per second, and the difference in of pressure head measured in terms of the moving fluid between enlarged and the throat. So this del H already given to you. This del H already given to you. This is 2.45 meter, and G is given to you. This one is 9.8 meter per second. It is asking the coefficient discharge. You have to find out coefficient of discharge. So already you know the formula. Q will be equal to CD into this A1 A2 root over of this is A1 square minus this one A2 square into root over of 2G into delta H. Okay, so you have to find out now this CD. So you have to find out this CD. So CD will be equal to, this is will be equal to Q by, so CD will be equal to Q by, this is A1 A2 root over of this is A1 square minus this is A2 square into this is root over of 2G into delta H. Let me see how much it is coming. I have solved here. Yes. So now if you solve this one, so this is the 30 liter per second. Now if you convert into meter cube per second, so 1 meter cube is how much? 1 meter cube is 1000 liter. Okay. So now if you convert into meter cube per second, this is 10 to the power minus 3 to 2, and this is see here pi by 4, here also pi by 4. You have to take this pi by 4 whole square. Now if you see here also pi by 4, if you take common, okay, now you will see here it is asking, this is pi by 4, this is your take. See here it is pi by 4 d square, here also pi by 4 d square, but here pi by 4 whole square. If you take the pi by 4 whole square out of the square bracket, it will come out of the pi by 4, 1 pi by 4, 1 pi by 4 gone. So only 1 pi by 4 will be there. So this is pi by 4 and this one is d1 square. D1 is given you 15 centimeters, so this is 0.5 square into this one is I think 7.5, so this is 0.075 square divided by, and this is pi by 4 d1 square, so this is d1 4, so this is 0.15 to the power 4 minus this is coming out to be 0.075 to the power 4 into square root of 2 into 9.81 into del H is given as a 2.45. Now if you solve, this CD value is coming out to be 0.95. So CD value is coming out to be 0.95. So there you can write down the CD value is 0.95. So a virtual calculator will be given to you in the GATE. You can use that one. Now this is another venturimeter problem. So here is saying a venturimeter is there. So this is my venturimeter. Okay. So what is saying? It is saying that the throat diameter is 0.1 meter. So here the throat diameter is 0.15. Used to estimate the flow rate of a horizontal pipe. This is horizontal. Okay. A pipe diameter is given you. This one is given you just 2.5. This is 0.25. Okay. And for a observed pressure difference. So pressure difference, suppose this is I am choosing as point number 1, and suppose this is I am choosing at this point number 2. Okay. So now the pressure difference is already given. P1 by rho g minus this P2 by rho g will be equal to how much? This is 2 meters of water. It is already given. The del H is already given to you. Okay. So now it is and coefficient of discharge CD is given to you as 1. Okay. So maybe it is not it is given, so you cannot do. So that is actually asking the theoretical discharge only. So now assuming the energy loss are negligible, so it is asking for the flow rate. So now you have to use direct formula. So this U will be equal to CD into this A1 A2 root over of this one is A1 square minus this is A2 square into this one is 2G into this one is delta H. So now if you put this all the value, so I am going to put this all the value. So now if you see, I am putting this all the value. So now this Q will be equal to CD is 1 into this is pi by 4, 1 pi by 4 remain will be there, pi by 4 into this is 0.2 square into this is 0.1 square divided by this is 0.2 to the power 4 minus 0.1, this is to the power 4 into root over of 2 into this is 9.81 into this one is H 2 meter is given. So if you do this, as this is coming out to 0.0508 meter cube per second. So this is 0.05. So 0.05, this is the correct answer. Okay, this is 2004. The direct formula you have to use. There is no rocket science. You have to use the formula, get the answer. Now at points 1 and 2 in a pipeline, the velocity are v and 2v. Okay, so this is the pipeline. So this is the converging one. Okay, so suppose this is my 1. So what is saying? So at this is suppose my point 1 and suppose this is my point 2. Okay, so at this velocity at this point 1, so velocity at this point 1, so velocity at this point 1, so velocity at the point 1 is saying to be, the velocity point 1 will be v and velocity at point 2 will be equal to this is 2 times of v, and both the points are the same. If you take the datum line, okay, this is my datum line. Okay, so if datum line, if you take both the datum line are at a same elevation, so both are at a same elevation, Z1 will be equal to Z2. Okay, and flow is assumed to be incompressible, density is constant, inviscid and steady and irrotational. It's correctly saying. So you can apply the Bernoulli equation at particular section. Clearly mentioned here irrotational flow. So now it is asking the pressure difference between point 1 and point 2. Now we are applying the Bernoulli equation. Now applying this Bernoulli equation. So applying this Bernoulli's equation in between this point 1 and this point 2. Now I am going to apply the Bernoulli. This is P1 by rho g plus this one is Z1 plus this is V1 square by 2g will be equal to this is P2 by rho g plus this is Z2 plus this one is V2 square by 2g. Now Z1 and Z2 are same. So Z1 and Z2 are same. So this I can neglect. Z1 will be equal to Z2. Okay. So now it is asking the what is the difference in between the velocity pressure difference. So this is P1 by rho g minus this is P2 by rho g will be equal to V2 square minus this is V1 square by 2g. So V2 is 2 times V. So V I am taking as common. So this is 2V whole square. So let me write down here. So this one is V whole square divided by this is 2g. Okay, but it is asking for pressure difference. So asking for pressure difference. So this is P1 minus P2. So this Gg gone. If you take the common, this Gg here cancelled. So this can I can this is rho by 2 into this is 4 minus 1. So this is 3 by 2 times and this is b square is there. So 3 by 2 rho b square. And this pressure at point 1 minus point 2 will be equal to 1.5 rho b square. And this is 1.5 rho b square. Okay. So this is GATE 2009. So now next question is saying, so a body moving through a still water, okay, at a 6 meter per second. So what is saying, so a body, what is, this is a body which is moving inside a water. So this is water is there, it is moving with a velocity of suppose at this point. So I'm choosing this point number 1 and this is suppose point number 2, and produces a water velocity of 4 meter per second at a point 1 meter ahead. Okay, so what will happen, the velocity is now reducing because of the resistance offered by this water. So the velocity is reducing. At 1 meter the velocity is saying, at v2 is how much, this one is 4 meter per second, and here the v1 is given you, this one is 6 meter per second. So now the asking the difference in pressure between the nodes and the point 1 meter ahead. So this is exactly at this point, this is the nodes, okay, exactly at this point. So we can apply the Bernoulli equation, okay, and suppose you choose the datum line, this is the bed, okay, this is the bed part, and this is the datum one, this is datum line. So if you choose the datum line here, both this Z1 and this Z2 both are same. It is not mentioned means there is this are same. So here is Z1 will be equal to Z2. Now you apply the Bernoulli equation into the point 1 and point 2. This is P1 by rho g plus this is Z1 plus this is V1 square by 2g equal to this is P2 by rho g plus this one is Z2 plus this one is V2 square by 2g. Okay. So now this Z1 and Z2 are same here. So this Z1 and Z2 we can take out of this one. Z1, Z2 cancel. Now it is asking the pressure difference. So P1 minus P2 will Gg will be cancelled. So this is rho by 2 into this is V2 square minus V1 square. Okay. So density, this water is the fluid. Water is the fluid. So density of water we know. So the density of water is 1000 kg per meter. This is by 2, and Vt is this is 4 square minus this one is this is 6 square. Okay. So now this is coming out to minus. So minus 10,000. This is Newton per meter square. This is coming. Now you can see here the velocity is gradually reducing. So as the velocity is reducing, what will happen? The pressure must be increases. Okay. So pressure must be increases means I can write down this pressure 1 minus this pressure 2 will be equal to what? Minus 10,000. Okay. So pressure 2 will be what? Pressure 1 plus this 10,000. So pressure at point 2 is more than pressure at point 1 because the velocity is reducing, and to contain the same amount of energy the pressure is increasing at point number 2. This is the logic. Okay. So pressure at point 2. So this is not mentioned, the magnitude only has mentioned. The correct option will be 10,000. Okay. So we will go into next. So this is a very interesting problem. Okay. This is a very interesting problem. Two pipe carrying oil. This is mass density are given. Okay. So this is the first case is saying, and what is saying, in the left one there oil is there, left one oil is there, and the mass density is given 900 kg per meter cube, and the other right limb is water is connected to manometer. It is saying, asking by what amount the pressure in the water pipe should be increased so that the mercury level in both the limb of the manometer becomes equal. Okay. So what is the increase in pressure in water so that the mercury in both left and right limb will be equal? So now this, suppose this is case 1. So this is first case. So this is first case is saying. So what is saying? So for this is I am taking this one as my reference. It's going to be datum line. Okay, suppose this is my datum line. This is x, and I am choosing 2 points. Suppose this is my point C and this is my point D. And here I am writing the manometric equilibrium equation. Means pressure at point C will be equal to pressure at point D. Okay. So what is the pressure at point C? Pressure at point C, this is pressure at point, pressure in the point oil, pressure of oil. Okay, this is the pipeline, pressure in oil pipeline, plus there is, this is the also oil. So this will be rho of oil into G into this height is 3 meter. So we reach this point. Now the pressure in water pipeline plus there is water is there. So this is density of the water, G into this one is 1.5, plus this is mercury is there. This is density of the mercury into G into this is 0.2. Now this is my equation 1. This is my equation. Now in second case, what is saying? In second case, the pressure is some increasing in water pipeline. Okay, there is some increase in water pipeline. So that what will happen? There is the manometric fluid is now, this is going to equal height. So what is happening? So the equal height means there is some, the fluid is incompressible nature. What is the loss in this manometric fluid? What is that this manometric, how much it will be depressed? Same amount of the fluid it will be gained in the left limb. Okay, so suppose the fluid is gone to this much, means what? 10 centimeter it will fall. If 10 centimeter it will rise in the left limb, then there will become both equal. That is the logic. If 10 centimeter fall in the right limb of the this mercury, and if 10 centimeter will rise in this left limb, then both will be equal. So now suppose this is the fall and suppose this is the my rise. Okay, so there is some fall. So this is the, there is some fall means, so there here what will happen? This water will come. So in second case, now at this point, now water will come. Okay, now what will happen? Now at this point what will happen? This mercury will go. So now at this point this mercury will go. So now see, now if you join this line, this is my, so now at this point, so this is now water already came here, now manometric record. So the rise and the fall, so this is the fall is how much? This fall is how much? 10 centimeter. This one is 10 centimeter. Similarly, what we have happened? This rise is how much? This rise is how much? This one is also rise by 10 centimeter. Okay. So the new height, if this one is C, the new height is now, this one is become, this is 2.9 meter. So this is my new height. And from this one, if you see, this from this one to this one, the new height become here, this is 1.6 meter, 1.6 meter. Now I am choosing this one as my reference axis. This is my reference axis. So this is my x-axis. And same point I am choosing point C and here point D. Now again if you apply the manometric equilibrium equation. So now if you apply the manometric equilibrium equation, so next case, so I am writing here pressure at point C will be equal to pressure at point D. So if you write down pressure at point D will be equal to pressure of oil plus, so this is density of the oil into G into height of oil is how much now? This is 2.9. So this is 2.9 will be equal to, this is, there is some increase in pressure. Suppose the pressure is now increased. Earlier it was pressure in water pipeline, plus there is some del P amount of increase, so that the what will happen? There is some fall in the this mercury in right limb, and there is gain in the mercury in left limb. So now this is pressure of water pipeline, plus there is some increase in pressure. Okay, so plus what will happen? So this is density of water into G into this height of water is how much now? Height of water now become here is 1.6 centimeter. Okay, and now this is my become one equation number 2. If you now this subtract equation number 2 and 1, now I am subtracting this equation number 2 minus this equation number 1. So now see the pressure of the oil, this will cancel, water gone, only this del P will remain, and all value are given to you. what is the density of the oil is given to you. Density of the oil is 900 kg per meter cube. Okay, and density of the water is 1000 kg per meter cube, and density of the mercury is 13,600 kg per meter. All these value are given. You just put all these value. The change in pressure is coming out to be 24.72 kilopascal. So this is coming out to 24.72 kilopascal. So now what is the increase in pressure? So that the manometric mercury levels in both flames will become equal. So the increase in pressure will be 24.72, then only the mercury level in both the flame will become equal. That is my answer, simple answer. So this is the logic. Okay. So I think you get the concept. If you not get, you can ask me. Now this is also in GATE 1996 question. So it is asking a relationship between H and L. Okay. So now if you assume them, if you assume a reference axis, this is my reference axis. Okay, x. Okay, and this is the density of the mercury, and this one is density of the 2. Okay. Now if you see, if you apply this pressure, suppose this point is my C and this point is my D. So pressure at point C will be equal to pressure at point D. So what is the pressure? There is some, if it is open to the atmosphere, there is some atmospheric pressure is acting here, and there is some atmospheric pressure is acting right over here. So this atmospheric pressure P atm plus this is, and this is what, this is, I think this is atmosphere. No, rho 1 is the atmosphere. So this one is rho 1. So there is only one, P atmospheric, plus this one is rho 2 into G into this one is L minus H. L minus H, this is L, this is H. So this side will be how much? This side will be L minus H. Now you reach at this point. So which will be equal to P atm in the right link plus this will be equal to rho 1 into G into this is L. Now we are considering the gauge value. So gauge value, if you consider, this will become 0. So this will become 0. The gauge value of atmospheric will be equal to 0. Now G will cancel. So this I can open this rho 2 G L minus this rho 2 G H will be equal to rho 1 G into L. So now if you this G gone, so this will become rho 2 minus this is rho 1. So rho 2 minus rho 1 into this L will be equal to, this is rho 2 into H I am taking. Okay. Now it is, if I found this H value will be equal to 1 minus this one is rho 1 by rho 2 into this one into L. This is my relationship. Okay. So this is H will be equal to L into 1 by rho 1 minus rho 2. So this is my H will be equal to L into 1 minus rho 1 by rho 2. This is my fact. Now I am going to the next and I think last problem. Yes, this is my last problem. So yes, it is saying a 15 centimeter of steel rod with relative density 7.4 is submerged in two layers of fluid. The bottom layer is saying the mercury and the top layer is saying water. The height of the top surface of the rod above the liquid interface. So it is saying, suppose this is my liquid and in which a block is there. A block is there. Suppose this is my block. Iron block, na steel rod. So this is my steel rod. Okay. And this height, the 15 centimeter length is there. So this one is given you as 15 centimeter. And this, the bottom layer is mercury. So this layer is mercury. So what this layer is, whatever the layer, this one is mercury. And the top layer is, this one is submerged in water. This one is submerged in water. So it is asking the height of top surface of the rod above the liquid interface. This is called interface. This one is called interface. This is called interface of the mercury and water. So suppose this height is above this water is x. What is this one? This will become 15 minus x. This is 15 minus x. Okay. Now if you equate this will be the weight. If you draw the free body diagram, the weight is acting downward and the buoyancy force due to water is acting here, plus the buoyancy force due to mercury is acting upward. So I can write down the net force in y direction will be equal to 0. So if you write down, so the buoyancy force due to this water plus this buoyancy force due to this mercury will be equal to the weight of this iron rod or steel rod. So what is the buoyancy force? This is density of the water into g into what is the height of this volume of the water has been displaced, or this is the volume of displaced, plus this is density of the mercury into g, how much volume of this solid steel rod has been submerged. This is the volume of this one submerged inside this mercury. So this part I can, this is the submerged volume will be equal to, this is mass into g. So this is like a density of this body into density into this is volume of the body into this is g. Okay. So now this g are cancelled. Now this g are gone. So this g and this g is gone. So I can write down again this one, density of the water in this volume. I can write down. Suppose this, if you see the top view, the cross section area will be look like this. So this is the cross section area. Suppose the cross section area is A. So I can write down this volume as in submerged in one side of the water will be equal to A into this x plus this is mercury into how much volume is submerged inside this mercury. This is area into this is 15 minus x. So area into this one is 15 minus x will be equal to density of the body area into this kind. This is 15 centimeter. Now if you see, the area is gone, cancel. So now its area is gone, cancel. This area and area are cancelled each other. Now final equation is there. If you divided it by in everything with density of the water, I am dividing density of the water, this density of the water, and this one is density of the water. So now this equation is now converted into, so x plus this is specific gravity of the mercury into this is 15 minus x will be equal to specific gravity of the body into this is 15. Now if you want to find out this one, x plus specific gravity mercury is 13.6 into this is 15 minus x plus specific gravity of the body is given 7.4 into this is 15. So now if you solve, so you can get the x value is coming out to be this 7.38. So this is 7.38 centimeter. So this is the part has been submerged inside this water. This is the part which is submerged inside this water. If it would ask what is the part submerged inside this mercury, then you have to, what you have to do? You have to do 15 minus 7.38. Okay, 15 minus 7.38. So you have to see clearly what is it is asking. It is which part. Okay, it is asking the height of the top surface of the rod above. It is saying above the liquid surface. If it is below the liquid surface, then it would be 15 minus 7.3. So this is the last. Okay, then another question. So suppose there is streamliner there. So this is two streamliner there. Suppose this is psi A and this is psi. So this is psi 1, this is psi 2. Okay. Now it is asking the flow rate at a particular cross section. A flow rate at a particular, so this point is saying A and this point suppose being B, and the coordinate of this point is given 3 0 and this coordinate of this point is given 0 2. It is asking what is the flow rate about this cross section. What is this flow rate? So discharge per unit width, discharge per unit would be equal to psi A minus this psi B, the modulus of psi A minus psi B. So what is psi A? Psi A will be equal to, if you put at point A, this is 3 into 0. So this is 0 plus, so this will be how much? This is 3 plus 1 into 0. So this is psi A which is coming out to be 0. And psi B, if you consider this is 0 and 2 point, so this is coming out to be 0 plus, so this is 0 plus 1 into this is 2 square. So this is coming out to be of 4. So now this is, if you put this discharge per unit with modulus of 0 minus 4, so modulus is 4. This is 4 unit. this is the discharge per unit width inside this at a particular perfection in the streamline is coming out to be 4 unit. So thank you for watching today. So I hope you enjoy my lecture. Okay, so in next class I am starting some new chapter, that is flow through pipes, and I think you like my video. So if you like, so hit the like button and share my video. Thank you all. Have a nice day.